any significant
But the
incidents
indication
at all.
is Mr. Trump is fine.
Fine, yes.
Yeah.
The campaign has checked. When we asked them about this incident, they checked with the campaign. They say he's absolutely fine. The safety staff car happens every now and then. As you know, especially in New York City, driving motorcades, we've had the experience in the past. These things happen, but we're trying to get more information.
All right, let's bring in Paul Manafort, the campaign chairman. What can you tell us about this incident, this motorcade?
What I'm hearing is that everybody's fine. That Mr. Trump and Mrs. Trump are on the plane and they're on the way here.
They've already boarded their aircraft. They're flying to Cleveland, but they're okay. Anybody else injured in that motorcade?
I'm told nobody was injured.
So it's just an accident and everything, we can move on.
That's right.
All right, well, that's good to know. Let's talk about what just happened here moments ago on the floor. What's your understanding of this lively, contentious debate that we just saw? He's speaking tonight. How did that decision come about?
She wanted to speak. I mean, as we were starting to put the program together, I was talking to the Trump family, and they were asking me, do members of the family speak? And I said sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I would like you all to speak because I think you all have a story to tell that hasn't been told in the campaign so far.
What is that story?
The stories of who their father is and what kind of man he is. I mean, you've seen one part of Donald Trump in the campaign, and that's a legitimate part of who he is, but you haven't seen really the businessman, the father, the compassionate human being that a lot of his friends and a lot of strangers who he's helped understand him to be. The family helps us communicate that message.
All the children will be speaking, except for Barron and little boy, but all the 4 other kids, they will be speaking over the course of the next few nights.
That's correct.
And this is something that Donald Trump clearly is anxious to do as well. So he's on the flight now. He's coming here.
Damn, Kev Dog, I don't know if you watch the channel anymore, but if you do, Kev Dog, this is a shout out to you and your little man. Hope you get better, man. God bless you, Kev Dog. Love you.
Be there. And then he decided, I want to introduce him.
Is it going to be
his convention.
Is it going to be a long speech, short speech?
No, I'm not sure, but I'm sure he'll say what he wants to say, and then he'll get off the stage.
Donald Trump, you never know. Paul Manafort, thanks so much for joining us. You got a lot of work to do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
He's the campaign chairman for the Trump campaign. We have to take a quick to Baton Rouge and Dallas. You're going to see what police are doing to stay safe and why it could keep all of us safe as well.
Majority of 7 states, so they lost the voice vote. It was very clear from everyone in the hall that the ayes had it. They went back and did there was a request for a roll call vote. You need a majority of 7 states. What happened was they submitted 9 states, but what happened is as people realized what was actually being asked of them, 3 of those states ultimately lacked the majority. People took their names off of those petitions because they didn't reflect what they thought they'd actually signed. So then it dropped below that. They ended up with only 6 states, and that didn't carry the ability to have a roll call vote.
Effectively, I want to get to sort of what this means for the party in a second, but effectively, what my understanding is that people in the movement with Ken Buck, who was just here, other conservatives, trying to set the process in motion for the next election, so that makes it so that a conservative would be more likely to be elected because only Republicans would be allowed to vote. But they used that as a way to get people in the anti-Trump movement who didn't want that as a result. So they basically co-opted them.
Yeah, actually, but look at what the rules actually did, right? So Rule 40 that everybody was animated about earlier in this process that had been changed in Tampa to require 8 states, that the grassroots had that say, to make it easier for people to get on the ballot going forward. So that rollback in favor of supporting grassroots efforts was done in the Rules Committee. Further, there was a lot of effort to do things that would have been pleased to the roll call vote. Some of those folks that were out here today were people that rejected a deal that would have continued to give the grassroots more strength, and that's sad. But there was an effort to continue to strengthen the rules back.
So you guys won. You were able to squash the rebellion. But I think my question is, this has not happened in a very long time. This kind of public display, not like this on the floor.
No. The Paul people walked out. You guys carried it live. There's always a small, tiny fraction of folks.
This was more than small.
The reality is, let's keep this in context. 44 states were in support. Most of all of the territories. So I mean, this is a tiny group of folks that have